Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brennan Plays. This is All Elite Wrestling. We are in the first week of January 2021, and this will be the New Year Smash special here today. So let's not mess around. Let's go ahead and book this week's episode of Dark. And on the pre-show, the Varsity Blondes are cutting a promo talking up their potential chances for a championship in the future as a tag team, 32 for their promo. We had Tyler Breeze on the pre-show taking on Sammy Guevara. They had a 64 rated match. So Tyler Breeze is a official free agent, and I was thinking about bringing in a local talent to try and, just give someone a win. And I thought, okay, let's see what Tyler Breeze has got. Let's see if he's worth even considering. Let's bring him for a dark match and let's see what he can do. Let's give him a really good opponent and let's see what sort of match they can have. I gave him Sammy Guevara, who performed at 72, by the way, which is outstanding. And Tyler Breeze, he's got 35 popularity, a 43 performance is pretty good. Probably not enough for me to really want to pursue him and sign him to a proper contract, but I thought, let's give him a look. Let's see what he can do, and not too bad. So a good matchup there on the pre-show. To begin the main show, we had FTW, Team Taz, take on the Initiative. So I realized we're going to have Team Taz take on the Hardys at the pay-per-view. So I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of get this team a few more matches under their belts. They've only had one other tag match together. So I thought it'd be a good idea to try and, maybe elevate Ricky Starks a little bit as well through Brian Cage. I don't know why I didn't really think about doing that for a while. Let Brian Cage team with Starks a bit more to try and boost up Ricky. So I don't know why, but I'm going to try and start doing that. It worked out pretty well. 50 rated match. Cage 58, Starks 38. Avalon and Cutler pretty good, 35 and 37 as well. Of course, FTW won. We had a big little bit of a promo into a brawl here with Tully and Will Hobbs to try and advance that storyline and give it something behind it. It really has not had a lot of steam behind it. It's just kind of been back and forth promos. So this time we had Tully and Sean Spears kind of really insulting Will Hobbs, kind of mocking him a little bit, maybe calling him a little bit overweight as well. And in the end, it resulted in Will Hobbs retaliating. A bit of a brawl broke out between Spears and Hobbs, and then the locker room cleared in to try and break it all up for 39. Not too bad, actually. Not too bad to try and boost up this storyline a little bit. Vicky Guerrero is hyping up Nyla Rose, talking about why she deserves more opportunities in AEW. 40 rated for this one. Look, Nyla's been probably underutilized, and Vicky, since coming in as her manager, has done literally nothing. So I figured it might be time to actually use them in some capacity. So 40 for that one. And as I said in previous weeks, I'm going to try and use Dark a little bit more, wiser. Try and get people who aren't really involved a chance to have a promo or a match, just to try and keep them relevant. So this is an example of that here. Priscilla Kelly took on Diamante for 29. The fans just didn't have much investment in this match and really brought it down. So Priscilla 41, Diamante 30. Just a lack of popularity here again. This is a big problem with the women's division as a whole. I thought this match would actually be pretty decent, and it realistically should have been probably around 35, which would be, that's okay for the women. But it actually ends up bringing the storyline down for Thunder Rosa and Priscilla in the end, which is not great. We had Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus talking about their successful tournament and their plans for New Year's Smash. So, they've had a very successful tournament. I think they haven't lost a match yet, so they have been fantastic. Now they await the winner of SCU and Best Friends. The winner of that match on Dynamite will face them at New Year's Smash. So they're kind of reflecting on their efforts so far and whether or not they have a realistic chance of becoming champions. 58 promo, pretty good. Eddie Kingston cuts a promo hyping up Rey Fenix. 56. That's a very good promo from Eddie Kingston. Good to see him really starting to nail that. He had a bit of a slowish start, but he's really starting to ramp it up with his promos, really getting it together. And I'd love to see Eddie Kingston with 60 pop. If we can get him to around that mark at the end of the series, that'd be amazing. And good promo there. And our main event was Jake Hager versus Matt Cardona. And it was a 55 rated match. Jake Hager 59, Matt Cardona 42. Jake Hager is a guy really underutilized, and his star power is kind of dropping. He's had some losses, but he's really starting to fall off a little bit. So I thought I'd give him a win here to try and get him back into relevancy a little bit. So 55 rated match. Cardona, his contract's about to expire with us, so we're about to pretty much finish with him very soon. So overall, a 46 rated Dark, and now it's time for Dynamite. Dynamite is booked? Let's take a look. So we decided to use Tyler Breeze one more time. You know, why not? He's still under contract for the night. Let's give him another match. This time we gave him a match against Cody Rhodes for 67. 15-minute match. Cody 79. Tyler Breeze 46. You won't see Cody in the pre-show too often, but we haven't had him have a match in a while. So I just wanted to, get him out there again, keep the reps up sort of thing, and see, if he can get a great match out of Tyler Breeze as well. So 67 in the end. Penelope Ford took on Ivelisse for 39. This is actually a pretty good women's match. Penelope Ford 30, Ivelisse 42. And we are looking to turn Penelope Ford in the future with Kip Sabian. We're still going to go with that. And I believe Kip Sabian might have gained a little bit of popularity after working with Miro recently as well. So that's a good start. Good, sign of good things to come, I suppose. We opened up the show with Eddie Kingston was out there with Jon Moxley, Fenix, and Penta. And this promo, both guys, going back and forth, but the main premise of it was Eddie Kingston saying that this match will define Rey Fenix's career. There we go. So basically, trying to make this match feel even more bigger. Obviously the championship's on the line, but this match is all or nothing sort of thing for Fenix. He needs this win. The family needs this win. Kingston is trying to put all the pressure on Rey Fenix in a way, trying to talk about, this match it's all or nothing sort of thing. And it kind of is because, Rey Fenix is going from, a mid-card guy. If he wins the championship here, all of a sudden now he's a major player. And obviously that helps Eddie Kingston, that helps Penta. So there's a lot riding on this match for the entire family. So we kind of talked about that. We are going to do Moxley and Kingston in the main event later on tonight as well. So we're hyping up for that one too. 79 promo in the end. We had the Natural Nightmares take on Team Taz FTW. 55 rated match. Brian Cage was very good in this one. 65. Ricky Starks 38. Dustin 51. And QT Marshall 28. QT kind of sucks. Dustin was good. Brian Cage was excellent. We had this one as a wild brawl, and I feel like this match got a lot more out of it because of it. So very happy with how this one went down. 55 rated match. And Brian Cage's performances there kind of, give me some hope that this is going to be a good combination going forward. And I'm talking about Team Taz, of course. Post-match, the Hardy Boys saved the day as Dustin and QT were getting beaten down by Team Taz, but the Hardys come in for the save. We lost storyline heat here, so 57 in the end. So we took a bit of a gamble. We wanted to have the Hardys involved somehow here instead of a promo. And they save the day, and we kind of have a bit of a stare down, or a bit of a send off there as we get ready for their match at the pay-per-view. So look, maybe we'll try and get a promo here to boost up this storyline heat just that little bit more before their match. So because at the moment it's a little bit low, I feel like the storyline heat, it's dropping rather than going up. Powerhouse Will Hobbs had a segment with Jim Ross, and I was thinking here, Will Hobbs hasn't really had a great, segment or a match to really put him on the map here. So I figured, why not have him do a sit-down interview with JR? I always liked his sit-down interviews here. And, he's done in the past and really has helped elevate guys' careers. So I thought, why not, let's, try and do that here to hype up Will Hobbs and Shawn Spears. So we had a 55 rated angle here, which I think is pretty good. That's a good promo. Will Hobbs in the promo discussed his childhood, his goals, what he's achieved so far in AEW, and of course talking about Shawn Spears at the pay-per-view as well. So that gains storyline heat, and I wonder if that will gain Will Hobbs a bit of popularity. I feel like it might. I'm still happy with Will Hobbs, though, as a babyface. I know in real life he's gone heel, but I still feel like he can succeed on his own as a babyface. We just got to get him out of those 20s and 30s and get him to the 40s where he can actually start to be a bit of a player on the roster. Bad Reputation took on Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb in a tag team match. So Thunder found a partner for tonight to take on Bad Reputation, and they had a decent match, but again, no storyline investment from the fans. So just not enough popularity here, despite the fact that Priscilla had 43, Thunder had a 47. So we had good performances here. This was, good tag team match for the women, but just not enough popularity to kind of drag it up. So I'm worried that Thunder and Priscilla at the pay-per-view won't quite succeed because of those reasons. But, look, we got to go for it. We got to still keep getting these women out on the show, try and put them on the map a little bit. MJF had a great promo once again, 85 rated, as he ripped in and kind of trashed Darby Allin mocking him, making fun of his lifestyle, the way he wrestles. MJF went in, basically, and he just kind of ripped Darby Allin to shreds, and he was talking about how, clearly he was furious at Sting, for booking the match and making it official. So, 85 for that one there. Wardlow, of course, watching on and standing right next to MJF while he did his work. Cody Rhodes had a segment with Adam Page and Don Callis. So, Adam Page asks Cody Rhodes to reconsider the contract for Kenny Omega. So, the storyline is that Kenny Omega is going to sit out until he gets more money. Cody Rhodes said to Don Callis, absolutely not. He will not even think about trying to renegotiate or give Kenny Omega a new deal. Adam Page has asked Cody to reconsider because Adam Page wants Kenny to come back. Basically because he wants Kenny to come back so he can kick his ass, basically. He wants to come back so he can get the rematch. Don Callis was there as well, and Cody Rhodes invited Kenny Omega to come to New Year's Smash, and they will renegotiate on the pay-per-view. So I've decided that'll be the angle that we'll do. Kenny, Cody, and Adam Page, Don Callis will be there as well, and we can renegotiate the contract and make things official to get Kenny Omega back on TV. Best Friends and SCU took on each other for a 62 rated match. This was going to be the final match in the tournament, and basically the winner of this match would face Jurassic Express at New Year's Smash. So Best Friends were on 6 points, SCU was on 4 points. If SCU won, and obviously Best Friends and SCU would be on 6 apiece. So we kind of made it a do or die, sudden death, winner takes all sort of matchup here. And in the end, it's Best Friends. So we're going to do Best Friends and Jurassic Express, the rematch, taking place at the pay-per-view. Kind of, bad booking, I suppose. We probably should have had Best Friends and Jurassic Express kind of open up the tournament, maybe at the beginning of the tournament, so there was enough time in between their last match, because obviously Jurassic Express just wrestled Best Friends, so the effect there is kind of worn off. But at the end of the day, I didn't really know who was going to win that tournament. I was kind of basing it and gauging it off performances and who was going to do well and who was, getting popularity. And Jurassic Express surprised me. I probably was going to have Best Friends and SCU in the final, but in the end, Jurassic Express kind of got over and did really, really well. So they've got that spot. So Best Friends and Jurassic Express at the pay-per-view. Both teams performed really well, 51 and 55, pretty much for both teams there. Great stuff. I feel bad for SCU. I've kind of had them take a few losses as of late, but you got to do what you got to do. We have the Dark Order kind of, figuring it all out. Still trying to figure out what's going to happen with their leadership. Well, Anna Jay came up with the idea recently that, why don't we just fight it out? You guys fight out and figure it out who gets to be the leader in a match. Well, they've decided a 4-way match at New Year's Smash will take place. John Silver, Preston, Stu Grayson, and Evil Uno in a 4-way. The winner will become the new leader of the Dark Order. So they think. 31 for that one. Inner Circle addressed the tag team tournament and the Young Bucks' recent challenge. 82 rated promo. Yeah, a little bit of a sneaky way to kind of boost up the championship tournament storyline, but also to address Young Bucks Inner Circle. We haven't really had the Inner Circle kind of address it yet, so they're kind of covering all their bases there. Kind of talking about who's going to face them going forward after the tournament, and the potential of the Young Bucks getting their shot as well. Awesome Kong and Britt Baker teamed up to take on Leva Bates and Red Velvet for 34. Baker 40, Kong 41, Bates 26, and Velvet 21 as well. Surprisingly, the crowd didn't hate this match. I was kind of expecting this one to be a bit of a downer as well, but in the end, not too bad. Trying to get the women out there just to be on TV, get them involved somehow. So rather than a promo, as I said, get them in a match. Lance Archer and Park had a confrontation, and they had one last promo about their upcoming match, the TNT Championship Tournament Final. It will take place at New Year's Smash. 64 for this one, and Jake Roberts helped out Archer during his promo, so not a bad little segment between those two. Jon Moxley requesting that his match with Eddie Kingston tonight be no disqualification. Sting has decided, okay, I'll grant that, I'll allow that. So Moxley and Kingston, no rules later on tonight. And here it was, Moxley and Kingston in the main event for 74. This one actually went for about 20 minutes in the end, so we had a long matchup. Fenix and Penta, of course, they interfered in the match as you'd expect, but Moxley overcoming the odds, somehow survived, hit the paradigm shift, and pinned Eddie Kingston. Good match. Kingston, 55 rated performance. That is very good for him. Moxley, 81. Fantastic. Obviously, these guys suit, the no DQ hardcore style, of course. So a 74 rated match is very good for these two. And the final segment, brought this one down a little bit. The family beat down Moxley and laid him out in the middle of the ring. So that last segment may have dropped the storyline a little bit after, we had a great promo, good main event, things were going well. Yeah, maybe got a little bit of a letdown there at the end. But overall, a 65 rated show. Wow, I'm a little surprised about that. We had a lot of good promos and a good main event. We might have just needed one more solid 70 rated match somewhere, to get us closer to that 70 overall show. Well, the WWE stars are dropping like flies. First it was a Big Show, now it's Kane. Kane is 53, wow. Yep, the 53-year-old Kane has not been offered a new contract and looks like his WWE career could be coming to an end. Still got 68 pop rather, so he's still got some value. 74, 77, so he's got some good mic skills. In-ring wise, he's probably just about finished. Has he had any matches? No. So probably pretty much finished in terms of in-ring, and he's probably too big of a person, to be a manager. He's 7 foot tall, just about. Yeah, on-screen character, sure, but it just, I don't know, it seems a little bit weird. But nonetheless, Kane will leave the WWE, and he won't be coming to AEW. So we won't have a Big Show and Kane tag team coming our way in AEW, unfortunately. NXT did a 1.68 million viewers, 2.24 TV ratings, 70 rated show again. Cole and Pete Dunne, the main event, to keep the NXT Championship. Adam Cole won that one. Our show, 1.05, nearly 790,000 viewers, so that's a really good jump. Considering last week's viewership was pretty low, much better this time. I guess it's the go-home show before our pay-per-view, so you'd expect a bit of a bump there, and we did end up getting it, which is fantastic to see. Matt Cardona, as you can see, his contract is up. He's got 30 days left with us, and at this stage, we're not really interested in kind of renewing him just yet. So, he's a short-term little deal with us, and maybe someone else will pick him up. Obviously, he's now with Impact in real life, so that's good for him. Tyler Breeze, he got a couple of matches on it with us here against Cody and Sammy Guevara. No change to his popularity, though, despite that. So, and how about this one? Jim Cornette is now booking Ring of Honor again. Well, look, I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette. I think he's an entertaining guy. Very interesting to see, though, how he'd go as a booker in 2021. I still think he's got good ideas at times, but, is he in touch? Has he got what it takes? Ring of Honor taking a big gamble there, so good luck to them. New Year Smash is all booked. Let's go ahead and check it all out. Alright, so we're going to open up the show. On the pre-show, we've got a 5-on-5 match. Just a match, really, to get everyone on the card. Just so people won't complain, basically, because I'm sick and tired of people being annoyed that they're being left out on the pay-per-view, things like that. So yeah, Scorpio Sky, the Gun Club, and SCU, or SCU and the Gun Club, I suppose, take on Sabian, the Butcher and Blade, and the Hybrid 2. 5-on-5, we gave the win to SCU and the Gun Club. Best in the match was Christopher Daniels, 52, and 49 match overall. We also had a 3-on-3 among the women. Ali, Mel, and Penelope Ford took on Hikaru Shida, Teikante, and Diamante. And this was a 41 rated match. No surprise who was the best in this one. Hikaru Shida, 51. Ali had a 36 as well, not too bad. So she was actually the best on, the second best in the match, so not too bad. And of course, Shida's team picked up the win. We had a segment backstage with the Dark Order, and they're all arguing about who's the best person to lead the group. Who's going to be the best leader? Who's going to win the match tonight? Fatal 4-way against those four. So Uno, Silver, Grayson, and Preston in a 4-way, and a bit of a promo leading into that. 35. Matt Sydal defeated Michael Nakazawa for 44, Sydal 48, Nakazawa 32. Again, trying to get Matt Sydal some more opportunities to wrestle, trying to gear him up for potentially a run in the mid-card at some point. There is some openings coming up soon in the mid-card now that maybe someone like Archer and Park may be available. Darby Allin, Cole Cabana, we're going to start using him a bit more, Scorpio Sky. So there's some few mid-card guys there that we can start to pair up and do something with in the future. And the last segment for the pre-show, I believe, Tony Schiavone, Britt Baker, Awesome Kong, and of course Schiavone was talking about why Britt Baker brought back Awesome Kong to AEW. So kind of advancing the Baker and Statlander storyline as well. And 47 for this one, so pretty good stuff as well. So Britt Baker kind of talking with Schiavone about why Awesome Kong's back and why they've kind of been targeting, Chris Statlander. So it will be Kong and Statlander on tonight's show later on. Okay, we opened up the show with the finale of the TNT Championship tournament. It was Lance Archer versus Park. It was a 67 rated match, and in the end, Park picked up the win. Park's 72 performance. Lance Archer was really good too though, 60. Both guys performing very, very well. We had Miro with his new friends, his best friends, Sabian and Penelope Ford ringside as well, watching on. So, good match, and this is the final of the tournament, so now Park will be the number one contender. It was a flash pinfall win, so we still tried to protect Lance Archer in that way, just a quick, roll-up win to get the better of Archer out of nowhere. But yeah, so good win for Park, and Archer, we're probably going to, start preparing him to maybe join the Dark Order and become their new leader. I still think that's a good idea. I'm still happy with that, so we're going to go in that direction. Park versus Miro for the championship. Probably a good chance that Park might take the championship from Miro. I haven't been that impressed by Miro so far, whereas Park, I feel like could be a real workhorse and really deliver good performances every time. A bit like Cody in a way, but a little bit less popularity for Park. So he's not really main event material just yet, whereas Cody is a definite main event guy. So Park probably could elevate himself with the TNT Championship into becoming a main event guy. And Miro, to be fair, is not far away from the main event as well. 67 for that one. We won't turn Sabian and Penelope Ford just yet. We'll give him a few more segments. And post-match, Miro and Park with a stare down as Archer and Roberts are disgusted with themselves, frustrated that they couldn't win tonight. But Miro and Park with a big stare down for 73. That's actually a pretty good segment in the end. Alright, Powerhouse Will Hobbs took on Shawn Spears for 34. No surprise that a lack of popularity was a bit of a problem here. I thought Spears might have had enough to carry it, but not quite. We gave the win to Will Hobbs. Shawn Spears, I just got nothing for him. He just has not delivered. He's underwhelming. It's time to probably use him in a way to elevate the Ricky Starkses, the Will Hobbs, maybe Brian Pillman Jr., those sort of guys, get them up the card. So that's what's happening here. Will Hobbs defeating Shawn Spears. And Will Hobbs, considering he's only got 27 popularity, Shawn Spears in the mid-30s, Will Hobbs nearly outperformed Shawn Spears, and that's a bit of a problem in itself. Now, I think this was a wild brawl. Yes, it was. So it was a wild brawl, which is probably why it helped Will Hobbs that little bit more. But in the end, 34 rated match. It should have probably been in the 40s if they had enough popularity. So not too bad, and hopefully that'll help out Will Hobbs going forward. Post-match, Tony interviewed Will Hobbs as well about his match and his big win and kind of the plans for the future. So 51, so I'm hoping those two, that segment there and also the match really drives Will Hobbs up. Get him out of the 20s, get him to the 30 popularity would be fantastic. Priscilla Kelly and Thunder Rosa had the same issue, just not enough popularity to get the investment from the crowd. 33 though for their match. Priscilla 39, Thunder Rosa 43. It was a good match. It was definitely a good match. Both women doing well. Thunder Rosa picking up the win in the end. So we are looking to have Rosa versus Britt Baker as our next big women's championship match at Revolution. So Rosa picks up a win to get herself in contention there. So it's a good win for her. And good signs though for Thunder Rosa in the future as a potential top woman in the division. Priscilla Kelly, though, still good. She's been a bit of a surprise package. I'm surprised she's been as good as she has been. So she's someone that might not get the big push, but she'll be there or thereabouts. She'll be feuding with maybe the next person coming through. We had the Hardy Boys with a promo talking about how excited they are to be teaming again tonight, back together again against Team Taz. or Team FTW, whatever you want to call them. 69 for that promo, gaining a bit of storyline heat. Their promos are a little bit down. I thought maybe we could get a little bit more out of it, but maybe not. All right, so Hardy Boys are back. Let's see how their match goes. I'm pretty confident this is going to be good. I'm praying, because we've pretty much brought Jeff Hardy in just to have the Hardy Boys as the team to really elevate the division. So I'm praying this works out well. Let's take a look. 66 rated in the end. Now, considering Ricky Starks is involved, and Ricky Starks is a long way behind everyone else, this is not too bad. Jeff Hardy with a 74, that's good. Matt Hardy with a 61, that's one of his best performances. Brian Cage was fantastic, 63. Ricky Starks, obviously, considering he's got 26 popularity, a 43 performance from him is obviously great. But a 66 in the end, very good. I'm happy with that. The Hardys, of course, win. Jeff Hardy pinning Ricky Starks, so we still protect Brian Cage that little bit there. So good from Jeff, though, 74. Matt Hardy doing pretty well as well. So fingers crossed that we can get the Hardys, a little bit elevated, a little bit further. And once they start feuding with some of the top teams, maybe Inner Circle, Young Bucks, well, what about this team? FTR. So FTR ambushed the Hardys post-match, and Team Taz couldn't help themselves. They want to get in on the fun. So it was a 4-on-2 beatdown. The Hardy Boys getting an AEW welcome from FTR and Team Taz. So that'll be the feud going forward. It will be FTR looking to crush another legendary tag team in their path of the Hardy Boys. So looking forward to that one. 70 rated angle there, which is pretty good actually. And that will gain a bit of heat as we'll shift that over to FTR versus the Hardys. So that should be good. FTR have been out of the mix for a month or so. Great way to get them back involved in a top-level program. At Revolution, Hardys versus FTR will be a pretty good match. All right, our next segment was Cody Rhodes, Adam Page, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks out there as well. So the Elite all out there in the ring. Kenny Omega is back, decided to show up tonight. And Cody, he gave in. He gave in and agreed to give Kenny Omega more money, only if he gives Adam Page a rematch, and Kenny Omega was happy to accept. So Don Callis actually couldn't be here tonight. He had to be at Impact Wrestling. I know that's a bad decision from him. Why would you choose Impact over AEW? Big angle here, but so Kenny Omega had to do it on his own, and maybe we can turn that into another storyline factor. Maybe if Don Callis had have been there, he would have talked Kenny Omega out of accepting that match. He would have talked him out of accepting that contract. So we might be able to turn that into something a little bit further out of this storyline. But in the end, we have set up Adam Page and Kenny Omega in a rematch of some sorts. When's that going to happen? I'm not sure, but it'll happen along the way, and then eventually we'll go to Cody versus Kenny at Revolution. 83 rated angle, very good stuff, and advancing and gaining storyline heat for Kenny and the Elite. Next up, wow, this is a good match. Awesome Kong and Chris Statlander for a 47. That's not bad. I'm actually quite impressed. Chris Statlander was the best in the match, 47. Awesome Kong, 41. This stage of her career, Awesome Kong just hasn't been that great. Now, her popularity, I believe, is at 36. It started at 40, but she's just been dropping every week just because she's been in bad matches. So she picked up the win over Statlander here, so she actually performed 5 above her popularity, which is not bad. Statlander is well above, so Chris Statlander is doing pretty well. We gave the win to Awesome Kong after Britt Baker got herself involved. So we have to keep this combination of Baker and Kong strong, and if Awesome Kong loses her first pay-per-view match, then, she's done. What's the point? She's not going to be threatening. She's not going to be a great bodyguard or a menace for Britt Baker at her disposal. So it was only right that we went with this direction. Now, my concern is what's next for Chris Statlander. A little bit like Sheeta. Will she fall out of the mix as we bring someone else into it, like Thunder Rosa? Maybe. So I suppose it's up to us to really find another opponent for Statlander. And that's kind of where we're struggling. We don't have a lot of heels coming through at this stage. All right, we got the final of the the AEW Tag Team Tournament. We've already seen the TNT. So this is the final of the Tag Team Tournament. Now, technically, the tournament was already finished because we went off a point system. But what I wanted to do is the top 2 teams face each other in a match. Jurassic Express and Best Friends in a rematch from a couple of weeks ago. And of course, we gave the win to Jurassic Express. We had Chris Jericho on commentary as well. Luchasaurus 59, Jungle Boy 60, Chuck Taylor 50, Trent 53. So you can see with those performances from Jurassic Express, that is why we've got to get them involved in the tag team title picture at the moment right now. Now, honestly, I wouldn't mind having Jurassic Express with the belts, but the problem is that Inner Circle's got it. Then the Young Bucks probably will have it. And we've got FTR, we've got the Hardys, so we've got a lot of high-level tag teams. So someone like Jurassic Express, in another scenario, would definitely be the perfect choice for tag team champions. But unfortunately, the belts are just too high up the card. And to be fair, every belt is probably too high up the card. But in saying that, it does make the belts a little bit more prestigious as well. So Jurassic Express are well on their way. They're gaining popularity. Big win here. And now Inner Circle versus Jurassic Express coming up next. That will be a good match. I'm confident we'll get a good one out of that one. All right, the Dark Order had a match up when John Silver, Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, and Preston faced each other in a four-way. It was a draw. No one got a win because Eric Redbeard decided to interfere and cause some chaos. Now, before we get to that, Silver 37, which is actually pretty good from Silver. Stu Grayson 47, Evil Uno 44. That's pretty good from those guys, actually. Really good. Preston was probably the weak link, but I wanted him involved because, he's kind of like the big guy of the group. He's the muscle of the group, so it makes sense that he's in contention. So 39 rated match. I tell you what, that is a hell of a lot better than I expected. I did not expect much, and it exceeded my very little expectations. The post-match actually went pretty well. So 45 rated here. Redbeard debuted his new monster gimmick. Now, it's only a short-term thing. We're not going to have Eric Rowan on the roster for long. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But, what happened is that he came in, cleared house, destroyed everyone in the Dark Order. We had Alan Angels out there, Alex Reynolds out there to try and help. Redbeard just beat them all up, and then eventually he got on the mic and said, "I'm your new leader. Forget about, you guys trying to figure it out. I'm the new leader." Bit of a badass moment, I reckon. You come in, you beat the crap out of everyone, and then you pick up the mic and say, "I'm the guy." Now, the problem that he might have is, will he get the respect? And I suppose beating the crap out of everyone is one way to do it. So I don't mind that at all. So we'll see how this goes, but a nice little twist to the storyline that we'll kind of run with for a little bit until we're ready to get Lance Archer into the mix and take over for good. So 45 there in the end. Actually, a lot better than I expected from those couple of segments there. MJF took on Darby Allin one-on-one for 68. They had a 20-minute match between these two, so had a great chance to really showcase what they can do. MJF 74, Darby Allin 60. Now, we didn't have this match involved with the storyline between Sting and MJF because I figured it might drag it down. So we could have actually got a little bit more out of this match, maybe into the 70s if we had have involved the storyline. But again, it would have taken a bit of a risk, potentially dragged it down. So rather than doing that, I wanted to keep that storyline really strong. But in the end, MJF once again proving why he deserved to be the world champion not long ago, why he should be, still pushed at the very top of the card. Great performance from him. And Darby Allin, the fact that he's got 44 pop and performing at 60 suggests to me that we've got to get him going. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. Darby's going to have to beat someone to get him way up that card because he is far too low at the moment. Great match between those two. And of course, MJF picked up the win. Post-match, MJF says Sting could put anyone in front of him and he will just continue to knock them all down. So no matter what, MJF will beat anyone or anything that is put in his way. 85 promo from MJF. Excellent. And in fact, he's got a really good promo on pay-per-view. I feel like could really gain him a lot of popularity as well. So looking forward to that. So, this MJF and Sting storyline is really starting to heat up. And by the time we get to Revolution, I feel like we're in for a really great match between those two. Alright, the main event was Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix for a 72 rated match. And we had these guys try and steal the show, go all out for the big one. Moxley was tiring towards the end a little bit. So maybe we had this match drag on for a little too long. I thought I set it to be 18 minutes, but in the end they went about 20. So Maybe I should have cut that down a little bit. But nonetheless, Rey Fenix at 66 performance, Moxley at 78. So 72 is probably about fair anyways. But Moxley, of course, retaining the AEW World Championship once again. Good opportunity, though, for Fenix to be a part of the main event, trying to elevate him for the short term. Hot shot him into the main event just to try and fill in a little bit of a gap. Still don't know what's the plan, though, for Moxley at Revolution. That's the big problem. We don't have a legitimate opponent for him, and that is not good. Very, very bad. So I've got to figure that out. So it won't be Rey Fenix, though. He's lost here tonight. And in the end, we had a 70 overall show. Now, we probably lacked one more really good match. We had a couple of high 60 rated matches. If we had got another 70 plus, it might have driven that up just that little bit. We got to have 1,000 viewers, 1,000 people rather, in attendance, which is good. That's my rule for pay-per-views. We're allowed to have 1,000, 500 for TV shows. 70 overall show is not bad, considering it's just, not a huge pay-per-view, just a kind of a major show on the way to the big one. I'm pretty happy with that. Alrighty guys, thanks so much for watching this episode. We'll come back with the next one and we'll recap everything that went down at New Year's Smash. Looks like there's been a few releases as well around the independent scene, so we'll take a look at what happened there and we'll recap it all, and we'll have it all for you in the next episode of Total Extreme Wrestling. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to see more, and I'll see you in the next one.